So let's make sure that we now fall off ledges. All right, so I'm gonna actually make it so you enter crouch faster if you land. So how are we gonna do that? I just think it's cool. I don't know. I'm trying to polish up this thing a little bit more than maybe I need to, but I really don't give a shit. I'm kind of just messing with it. Alright, so the question is, it's on enter, right? So if the previous state was the in-air state, I guess would be the thing. Or we can, something like that. And it's not the previous state, it's going to be... I would like to call a movement and be like, was I in the air last frame or something like that? I don't know. This might not be... And let's have this try to crouch. Was in air. So crouch time, let's do a multiply by like 0.5. If was an error, then is true, then let's see, the crouch duration set is going to be well, why don't we just do it this way? So we set it to crouch duration to start with, to the crouch time. And if this is false, we just go straight. If it's true, then we set it to the crouch time multiplied by 0.5. Alright, so kind of nasty or whatever, but whatever. Alright, so was an error is true. So we're setting crouch duration to crouch time times 0.5, so crouch duration is 1.25 or 0.125. Whoops. Ah. It just exited, so we couldn't play the animation? Because we were landing. Alright, so the idea is if landing is playing, we can probably skip the landing animation if we're going to go into a crouch. How about that? Why don't we just do that? So I have an input here and be like, can skip landing. So have a branch. So can play anim is going to return false if this is not equal, so it needs to be an so if this is equal to -1, so it is, and we need to and it with not can skip landing, or so if we can skip landing, it needs to be an or. Like this. So the bitey crouch state, can skip landing is going to be true. So we can skip the landing animation if we're going to go into our crouch state. Cool. So if he's landing, he can just, bam, straight into a crouch. As opposed to the normal crouch. We could actually have him go super quick, just to emphasize it. Dang. Alright, so we did that. Alright, so we should get a crouch toggle button. A crouch toggle button. That's a different stream. That'll be later. So we need to cancel the crouch toggle with the jump key as well. So we need a crouch toggle. I think the crouch toggle is going to be something in the player controller, and it should be the intent to crouch. And we'll map it to the Y key. Alright, so we want to go to the logic object. This is the movement controller. Set crouch flag. Alright, so we're going to want a crouch toggle, and it should be false. So when we trigger Alright, so if we are crouched and the key, the left stick down is... Alright. We basically want an OR right here with this crouch toggle. So if either one of these is true, then we want to do this. If our axis value is greater than 0.6, then we're not going to crouch. Now the question is the crouch toggle just something that if you get to this point that we should do? I don't want the crouch toggle to mess too much up here if you're like trying to move. Yeah, I guess the whole point is it should be an OR. It should basically be like right here. Let's remove this. Yeah, I think this is probably the correct course of action right here. And what we want to do is go to our event graph, and we want a toggle crouch. Toggle crouch toggle? Makes sense. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to get our virtual controller. And we want to is key triggered. Let's do the Y key, Y action. If that is true, we are going to say that we're going to set the crouch toggle to we're going to get the crouch toggle and we are going to say not. So we'll set it to the opposite right there. So we also want it if you hit the A key that we set it to false. So if you hit the A action, then we're going to set this to false. So let's see. What is the Y action? It's the F key. Of course, I didn't actually put a break here. I mean, a branch here. What we need is, if this condition is true, then we do this. That's me hitting the F key, and then I can just hit the arrow keys. And if I jump, he jumps and immediately goes into a crouch after he jumps. I don't have to hold anything. So should it totally cancel it? I think we should cancel it if you... Well, that was interesting. Oh, that's because we went into the other thing. Alright. Yeah, I think we should cancel it if we hit that A key. Should we cancel it if we exit crouch? So if we exit crouch, it's going to be like we fell, like right here. I don't think so. I think we want to keep it. So it's only going to be if you hit the A key that we will cancel the crouch toggle. So what we actually need here is this false to also go over there. And what's a good way to to represent this. Probably to actually have, you know, something like this where it comes down so you can kind of see what happens. So this should have it cancel. Alright, that's looking pretty good. So we got the crouch toggle. Put optional jump straight out of crouch. Alright, so if we're in crouch, we cannot hit A and jump. So the issue with that is, I think it's if we're holding down an A, it's trying to do a down jump. So what would happen if I was on like a one-way platform? So if I'm on like one of these platforms, oof, I fell through it? So again, we're having some issues with falling through moving platforms, or falling through platforms when we hold that down key. When you do that, that's kind of what's supposed to happen. It's kind of interesting, the antic there for jumping. It's as soon as it happens, you're like, oh, that looks cool. But then when you try to move around and do stuff, you're like, oh man, that antic sucks. Because you're like, come on, you dumbass, jump. So I guess we're gonna have to have some sort of function there that says like, what ground am I on, and am I on a, if I'm on a solid platform and I hit A, I should just jump straight up. Is this a piece of the environment or a piece of the terrain? It's a piece of the terrain. It needs to be a piece of the environment. Oh man, the Steam summer sale is on. You can go grab all the sweet deals. I wonder if there's anything I want. Should check that out later. Stream froze? Wait, what? Or did I freeze? Because I was looking at something. So let's see, we need to know what kind of ground we're on. So what I want to do is, we're going to save everything. And we need to know what type of ground we're on. We should probably cache the ground that we're on. Of course, the first thing I noticed with the Steam summer sale there is that their meta tags say it's the Steam winter sale. And also that, that Steam is not working online. It's completely screwed. So I think they might have other issues other than, their sale page saying winter instead of summer. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to figure out which thing we're standing on. Now we could cache the actual object that we collided with to snap to the ground, and basically all of our functions end with snap to the ground. Alright, so we're going to have a bool. We're going to have on solid ground. Your stream is alright? I don't know. I didn't do it. Maybe I did. Whatever. So perhaps I don't want a boolean of like what type of ground, just like some boolean flags. Maybe I should have a ground type. Like I'm on water, I'm on solid ground, I'm on one-way platform. So why don't we make a new enum which has the ground type on it. This is going to be Dashkin ground type. So we're going to have unknown, the GT unknown, GT none, GT solid, GT liquid, GT one way. So we'll have solid, liquid, and one way. So let's have a ground type on it. So I'll have a ground type, and we want to initialize that to something. I broke Steam? No, I did not break Steam. So we're going to set our ground type to none, GT none, and we're going to need a getter function for get ground type. so let's go implement that function. Alright, so called to get our ground type. Alright, so we want snap to floor is kind of what we want to. So if we're in the air, we're going to say like m ground type equals Dashkin ground type none. So GT none for these sorts of things. And we'll get liquid eventually. But it's basically going to be this M ground type. We're going to set it to E Dashkin ground type GT solid, and if collision dot hit dot, I need to look this up real quick. Whoa, what? Google's having problems too? Is that what's going on? Wow. I can't Google F sweet test response. I think probably larger problems are afoot on the internet than just Steam if Google can't look at any of this stuff. Like, does F vector work? Yeah, it does. So maybe there's something else. The internet is down, right? Yeah. No results on Unreal's stuff for the definition of this. Wow. All right. Well, the internets are definitely having problems. Well, let's go to our physics, our movement utils, I think is what we want to do. So it's basically B blocking hit. If this is false, then the ground type is going to be this one-way platform stuff. So yeah, we're having even more problems with one-way platforms getting fallen through. And we had like fixed that before and fixed it again and then broke it again and then I don't know what the hell's going on with physics, am I right? Alright, so we'll be able to get our ground type. Cool. Yeah, but this is what I'm talking about with Steam being literally unshoppable right now. I mean, look at this. The Steam Winter Sale is on sale. Like, their meta tags are wrong. Like, that's just sloppy. Like, that means that when they do their search engine queries, that the page is going to show up with all the wrong stuff. It's just sloppy. Which is meta tags are something I check a lot on things because you can tell where people stole stuff from. Like, it was pretty funny. One time when we were working on EA during Dawngate back years ago, our site went live, and when you posted it on Facebook, it would show up as Diablo 3. Um, so, obviously that was like, wait, what? Like, because we found this out because, of course, the first thing you do is you're like, hey, guys, friends and family, the game I've been working on for a year or so or more is now live, right? Like, you can go play this. And then it pops up and the damn picture isn't your game. It's Diablo 3. And you're just like, what the fuck? So I called up my buddy John at Facebook, and I was like, John, why the hell is Facebook showing that my game is Diablo 3? And he's like, hold on, let me go check. And he's like, yeah, your website is just fucked up, man. Your website is pointed to Diablo 3 for its meta tags, so that's what everybody uses to display it. So it's the problem's on your side. So I'm like, all right, fine. So we go and we talk to the contractors who built the website. And we find that they just like stole all the stuff from Diablo 3's website to build it, and we were very upset with them. Alright, so let's go to our movement controller here for our player. Alright, so we have it right here basically. We have it so... Alright, why don't we just try disconnecting this entirely? Interesting. So if we have the A action and down action... Where's the thing where we're actually jumping through the one-way platforms? Yeah, exactly. Like, it was also one of the things. Like, I set up the websites, Dashkin Game and Dashkin Dev and all that stuff. And, like, I don't think the websites look absolutely atrocious. They look, halfway decent for, somebody who's not a web developer and never really built a website. Like, I don't build websites. I built servers and services, right? I'd write the game servers and everything. So I never really built any websites other than, like, development tools. It only took me, like, a week or whatever to set up all the wiki and forums and all that crap and, working with Adam a little bit. But Adam didn't have near as much time as he had in the past to do styling, so I did, like, all the styling. And it took, like, these contractors forever to build our website, and it looked worse. So, I don't know. That was when I set up the website stuff. I was like, man, the contractors we worked with in the past are all a bunch of morons. Alright, so we have is key down, left stick down action, disable one-way platforms, enable one-way platforms. Alright, so we've got all this enable one-way platform, disable one-way platform stuff. Clear surface Z allowed diff. This is in air. we're on the ground, left stick down action, if that is... I wonder if it's our allowed diffs that's making us fall through the frickin' floor again. Alright. It probably is. Set surface z allowed diffs, 0.1, yeah. It's a little bit different when you have a whole, like, analytics framework and all this other crazy bullshit tied in there, and then you gotta get, like, Origin logins or Steam logins or Twitch logins or whatever to work. Those are more incredibly difficult things. Alright, so we specifically have logic in our jump, which says if you are not jumping, if the down key is held. So what we want to do is I guess we want to just make a variable, and it's going to be can jump out of crouch. Nah, that's stupid. So I want to get the movement. And we're gonna get floor. What is it? Is it get ground type? Yeah, it's get ground type. So we're gonna call get ground type, and if that equals a solid thing, I guess we're gonna do an or right on here. What a bunch of crazy shenanigans. Alright, so if the floor type run is solid, then we're going to ignore the key down press. So, we can jump like that. I'm holding the down key and I can jump straight out of it. Yeah, it's definitely going to be the Z diff on that thing. That's been messed up. Alright, so we're going to fix the one-way platform stuff. Falling through, and it's probably the Z diffs. Anyway, I need a minute here, and I'll be right back. And we'll fix even more of our problems in life. Alright, so basically what's going on right now is the z-diff for our one-way platforms is kind of how we're figuring it out. I think is wrong. And what we really want is not the surface z allowed diff. It's just a toggle. It's get closest surface z as opposed to get the like a z diff. Like it's just what should happen. Is it's not a diff. It's if we're running, instead of picking the topmost surface to run on, it's supposed to get the thing that's closest to our current floor normal. So, and this is what's screwing it up. So we want instead of get surface z div, we want like get it's like snap to slope or something. So it's like set snaps to closest z, and we'll just do bool snap. This will be m snap to surface z. Yeah, snap to surface z. Get surface z. Clear snap to closest z. And snap to surface z equals false. Equals snap. Alright, so we'll get that, and then we have to fix the movement utils. So let's check them out. So I need a bool, and it should be snap to surface. And we're going to want the like cur surface z diff equals, and we're going to say like, you know, something that is too big. So we're going to get basically it's if snap to surface is true and the absolute value of this is the absolute value of the difference here is less than the curved surface z, I guess it's greater than the current surface z. And what we want to do is we want to say curved surface z diff is this fmath absolute value thing. If snap to surface is false, then this won't do anything. If snap to surface is true, alright, so this is going to skip it, otherwise. But this also has the problem of sticking to the one-way platforms. So we actually need to try to think about this. Basically, we want to snap to the one-way platforms regardless, because we can't penetrate them. So if we run into them, we have to stick to them. You're still here, Lucas? Very good. Or you're just commenting on that I am still here. In which case, yes, I am still working. We're trying to fix some of the one-way platform movement stuff. And I think this will do it. Alright, so if we should snap to the surface that we're supposed to be running on, we will take the minimum difference in z compared to what we have, which is what we should be doing. Well, let's see if that did it. Then we'll have to fix our blueprints. Yeah, that was just wrong right there. I'll stop getting distracted and start actually doing some more. I was looking at a link which was one of my friends posted to me that one of the games that Amazon's working on, they're having some esports teams play on like some Dutch naval warship or something. Just like, what the hell? I don't know if they understand their target demographic. Alright, just one thing at a time. I mean, it's also one of those things like, over the past